Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time, we, surprisingly enough, recruited Gangrel to our side. This time, we're going to recruit someone even more surprising. But first, you may notice that my playtime is a lot bigger than it was at the end of the last chapter. And when I reload here, I'm not actually going to reload on top of the paralogue that I was doing last. In fact, it's already showing up as completed. Also, risen and just popping up everywhere. This is because... Okay, now, Paralogue 18 was pretty much fine with the team that I had. I was able to do this pretty much alright, and you can buy Brave Axes here, which is pretty cool. So this was alright. Paralogue 19, on the other hand, I tried that with the team that I had, as in mostly level 15s, and I got absolutely slaughtered. This chapter turned out to be way more troublesome than I thought, and because of that, I actually needed to grind a bit. So, what I've done is, I've got pretty much everyone up to level, well, the ones I'm going to be using, I've got to around level 17 to 18 instead of 15 to 16. That has made this chapter a lot easier. Also, Crom is quite a bit higher level as well. And he's learned Luna. So yeah, a lot of characters level 18-ish, so... Yeah, I had to do quite a lot of grinding. How did I grind without using DLC? Well, I actually used one of the bonus box teams. Namely, Soths from Radiant Dawn. He's a level 15 Trickster, and his team is entirely full of Thief-based classes, all of which give really, really good experience, so that's what I used. It is a bit difficult for Axe users or anyone with low resistance, so my Axe users are a little bit behind, but this is basically the best source of experience that you can get outside of DLC for me, because normally on hard mode, the Spotpass characters actually give less experience than they would normally, but for Thief-based classes they still give quite a lot. Now, also the fact that I was grinding has meant I have an absolute crap ton of supports now, so I might need to do another support episode relatively soon. So, lots of supports. But this next chapter actually shouldn't be too difficult. Well, not too difficult. I mean, it's fine with the team that I have, but it actually shouldn't be too long because the enemies basically all rush you right from the beginning. So I think I might have time for several supports. So firstly, let's get Severa up to an A with both her parents. Her supports with her father started off on a pretty bad note. Let's see if they end on a good one.
Hey!
Huh?
She's even being tsundere towards weapons.
Oh, please.
This is actually kind of funny, considering I think I just dropped Arms Thrift on Severa in the last chapter, so maybe that wasn't a good idea. Yeah, more things about Severa having to live up to her mother's reputation of being perfect.
Huh?
Any complaints?
Thank me later.
What?
And you've activated Dere mode.
Listen.
But yeah, Severa is her own woman. She did decide not to be her mother's class.
Oh, please. Teach us right here.
That's a really good use of that voice clip. It's not often that happens, but that voice clip was really appropriate. And yeah, that support did kind of redeem me on Severa and her father there. As for other supports we can do, I want to focus on supports between characters who we're actually going to be using in the next chapter, and that would be Tiki and Sairi. I've got them up to an A.
My lady.
This is sadly one of the only supports that Sairi is going to have, but anything is better than nothing.
Huh? Fi.
This makes a lot of sense to be happening now. We're almost at the end of the game.
Well...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We've lost a lot of good people.
Yes.
Nay.
And I was about to mention Yenfei, but Tiki did it for me.
Fi.
Hey. Listen.
My lady. Fi.
Guess what?
Nonetheless.
Yes.
Mercy, friend.
Thank you.
So they're friends and equals now, rather than Sairi being a subordinate. That's a pretty nice support, but I kind of hope that Tiki would mention a bit more about... Tiki, of all people, should know what it's like to lose someone you care about. She's had to watch all of her friends from Marth's days die. So, I kind of wish that she'd said something about that, but anyway. Okay, more supports. Oh yeah, I have Lonko and Gregor's A, but I might want to focus on supports we're going to do here, because I have Basilio and Flavia's B, and I want to use them in the next chapter, so...
Yes?
And it's more insult time.
No.
I love these supports so much.
Oh my.
All right.
Huh.
Interesting.
What?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she can. Too late for that, Flavia. He already auto-married, I can't even count how many chapters ago.
Hold on. What?
Interesting.
I think not. Hmm? Listen. I could crush you.
These supports are amazing.
Hell no!
So that was interesting. Again, kind of ironic considering Basilio and Flavia can only marry the Avatar, so they really shouldn't be discussing who they fancy in the army. But anyway, speaking of Lucina, she's got an A with Jerome and... Wait a minute, I have a support that I need to do. I do have Gangrel and Mary Sue's C, however... there's something I really don't like about this one. So, Gangrel, like all Spotpass characters, can only support with the Avatar, or Morgan if they're their child. Now, Gangrel is a possible marriage option for a female Avatar, but that's not the annoying thing that I'm mentioning here. The annoying thing is, Gangrel's supports are totally different between male and female Avatars, And here's where things get really annoying. I think the male ones are so much better. In the male avatar supports, Gangrel actually explains the reasons why he started the war against Yllis. He explains all of his motivations. He explains a lot of the atrocities that he did. He comments on them. He starts to show remorse for his actions, and he even starts going into a huge thing about how his hands will never be clean of the blood he spilled. It's really, really interesting, and in fact, you even get some backstory into why most of Plegia worships Grima. It is a really, really good chain of supports. The female avatar, on the other hand, doesn't get any of that whatsoever. And because of this, I might actually, in a bonus episode, go ahead and show off the male avatar supports in the support library, because I think they give much better development for Gangrel than the female avatar ones do. I don't know why this is the case, but yeah. So what you're seeing here is, I feel, the massively inferior set of supports with Gangrel.
Yeah.
Nah?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh?
Interesting. So, yeah. I encourage you to go and look up Crom's C support with a... Gangrel's C support with a male avatar, because if you do that, you'll see why I don't like this one very much. I don't know why they did this, Anyway, no use ranting about that. I have Nara and Morgan B. Shell and Owain S. You know what? That's an S support. I may as well... Yeah, let's do another child S support.
Hoy there!
Now, the thing that I want to mention about this, my favourite pairing for Owain is female Morgan. She sadly doesn't exist in this playthrough. And really, Shell was the best I could find among the other female children that I wasn't planning on pairing with anyone else. I thought of Severa due to possible reasons, but I really don't like her support with Owain, and again, most of the other females were either taken or Owain's cousin, and yes, that includes Cynthia to me. I consider Cynthia and Owain canonically cousins. So this was the only option I had. The other reason why I did this pairing is because I actually didn't pair Shell in my first playthrough. She was the only one of the female children who went unpaired. Honestly, of all the female children to leave unpaired, I'm actually totally fine with Shell, and I feel it's completely in character for her to be unpaired. But anyway, out of all of Owain's S supports, I did sort of like this one the most, so here you go. Well, this probably was an old set of Kellam's armor, considering that she can't be seen in it, so maybe if you did give it a name, you wouldn't even be able to remember it. Okay then.
what?
What?
I thought it would be funny if the music changed to the comical theme now, but anyway. Yep, she's wearing the magical Kellam armor again.
Actually, yeah. Thank you.
I'm now imagining a generic bandit boss called Chaz.
What?
Yeah.
We're in this together.
In that support, you don't see Owain use his "my sword hand twitches" voice clip when confessing his love to someone, which has become kind of an internet meme, but anyway. Yeah, I've basically explained all of my reasoning for that pairing already, so I think that is every support that I have time for, so well, let's just very quickly skip through the barracks. Okay, a few possible supports. Hi, Pan. You know, I'm actually going to use you in this next chapter. Oh, magic and resistance. Resistance might help, but not exactly the best. You know, I was going to use him in the next chapter, but I think he's a bit too fragile. You need defense for this next one. Oh, hey, this is a port we've actually started. Wait, what? Wait, why does this have a love icon? Cordelia's already married! Why does this have a love icon? What? Wait, is that a glitch or something? I know Henry's unmarried, but... And again, I guess one of them... Okay, that's weird. I guess it only shows the heart icon if, I mean, I guess it only doesn't show the heart icon if both of them are married. That's interesting. It still shows a heart if one of them's married but the other isn't. That has disturbing implications. That didn't unlock any new supports, did it? I don't think it did. No. Laurent and Noir's supports are actually kind of funny. Well, not really normally, but the S support drops a reveal kind of out of nowhere. But anyway, we're off to Paralogue 19, the Conqueror's Whetstone. This is more directly named the Conqueror's Training Grounds in the Japanese version. It's right behind Walhart's castle, and apparently, yeah, this is the place where Walhart himself goes to train. I am a little intimidated, and we're just gonna get even more intimidated by the time we actually start this. Paralogue 19, Irreconcilable Paths. You might recognize this background from an earlier cutscene. There's a lot of Risen here, but Lucina notices these Risen are darker than usual. Well, this makes sense given that Grima's awakened now. That dark future could be pretty close if we don't gather up enough allies to defeat Grima. And kind of lampshade hanging of the fact this is an optional chapter, so you can ignore it if you want to.
No.
But there's something suspicious going on here. Something strong. This map is pretty awesome. These stormy seas, these cliffs, the rain, this graveyard. This might be my second favourite map in terms of just design in the game outside of the military. It's really amazing. Speaking of amazing though, the enemies here, Lucina wasn't kidding when she said they're strong. All level 20 promoted, and all of them have better stats than most Final Chapter enemies. Look at those Valkyries. 36 speed. With forged B-rank tomes. Ouch. And look at these enemies are so strong. Yeah, you understand why I had to grind for this chapter. When I tried this chapter without grinding, I got absolutely slaughtered. There was a complete massacre. Absolute complete massacre. So, I had to come back when I was a lot stronger. So, we have Risen. That guy, wait, what? What? Okay, interesting. Seems we hadn't seen the last of this boss after all. Walhart the Conqueror is for some reason back. He's now level 30, has insane stats, amazing strength and defense, and also really good speed, A ranks and everything, Pavis and Aegis in addition to Conqueror, and he still has his Wolfberg, and he still has his ability to move. This chapter is pretty brutal. If, yeah, you'll understand why I had to grind for this. So anyway, gonna get rid of all these characters that I was grinding for at the moment. You might notice Frederick here. I actually grinded Frederick a bit off camera because I'm gonna need him for a later chapter. But for now, let's just ignore him. I actually want to bring Kellum and Tharia to this because good defense really, really helps, especially Nosferatu. Nosferatu tanking is quite useful here. I want to bring Lucina because, well, she is an expert at fighting the kind of risen that drove her kind to extinction. Basilio and Flavia. Well, I can't pass up the chance to have Basilio versus Walhart 2, the rematch. Gonna bring Stahl and Sully as well because they'll do well in the wide open spaces of this map. I want to bring Donald and Na because we're going to need all the raw stats we can get. This chapter can be really tough. Next, I'm going to bring Gangrel, and I'm going to use him as my main healer for this map. You'll notice that I actually have leveled him up a little bit since I first got him, because without a pair-up partner, he kind of dies pretty quickly to these enemies on his own, so that was a little bit annoying. Yarn and Pan. Pan for Beastbane and the fact that she's almost maxed out on her level, and Yarn because, well, he's amazing. As for my final two characters... yeah, Tiki and Cyree. Because we're fighting the Conqueror again, of course we're going to bring Cyree. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of inventory management as well, mostly because that Iron Sword I was just using for trading, so I can get rid of that now. Let's see, is there anything better? Go ahead and take Soul. Now, Stars and Aeon Lancers. I went around some traveling merchants buying as many brave weapons as I could because this is the time to use them. At this point in the game, there is no shame in breaking out the brave weapons because, again, you are going to need them. So I'm going to grab myself a couple of those. Brave Axe, where are you, Brave Axe? There you are. Kellum already has a Brave Lance. Tharia, I don't think she's going to really need one. You know what? Flavia may as well take a Brave Sword if I've got one spare. How many Brave Swords do I have? 4. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, I did a lot of shopping off screen. Also, if there's anyone who you want to give a Brave Sword to, it is Donald. With his aptitude and massive luck, they almost never break. You really want to give a forged Brave weapon to Donald if possible, because he's really, really good with those. Sadly, Yarn can't actually use Brave weapons yet, and there are no Brave Stones, which is really annoying. Part of what makes Targwell less useful later in the game, but anyway. Okay, I think everyone who... Actually, you know what? Crom needs a Brave Sword. Because he actually has a hard time doubling Walhart, and he is going to need to fight Walhart in this chapter. And no, I'm not ready to start just yet. Some rearrangement is necessary. Firstly, Stahl and Sully are going to take on this area of the map. Kellum and Tharia are going to go on this side too, mostly because I want them to be as far away from the Valkyries as possible, despite the fact they both have the same resistance. But Kellum really, really hates those Valkyries, so yeah. Also, Yarn and Pan are going to go on this side of the map. Basilio and Flavia go here. Just got to make sure that... where's Donald? Basilio and Flavia there. Donald is where Na can reach him. Lucina looks fine. Where's Tiki? Yeah, Tiki should not be there. Okay, that's fine. And I think we're about ready to start this chapter, so... Here we go! Let's hope this chapter goes better than my first attempt at it.
What?
Hi there, shouldn't you be extinct? But, yeah, looks like the Risen have actually bent to Walhart's will. He's commanding them. And that leads me into an interesting theory that I have that I'll discuss later. Should be pretty obvious who his refers to, though in my headcanon, Walhart has more of a grudge against Yarn than he does against Crom. But anyway, also, we have Destiny. Perfect accompaniment for this map. But anyway, let's go ahead and make a save here. Okay, here we go. Now, first things first. I want to do some pair-ups, and I want to tank in these woods here. I want to lure in as many enemies as I can, and finish them off on the enemy phase, so I don't have to deal with an enormous cascade of mounted units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip the Brave Axe on Basilio to ensure that I get kills on counterattacks, well, provided I get lucky with dual strikes, and equip 1 to 2 ranged weapons. This is necessary because a lot of these enemies have spears or magic, so going to go ahead and do that. And speaking of 1 to 2 ranged weapons, I'm going to equip the Dragonstone there. Now next, Now, in my practice run, I actually equipped Star with a spear to counter at 1 to 2 range. I forgot to do that here, but that might actually not be a bad thing. I'll send Tharia here and make sure to go into items and not attack, and equip Nosferatu, because the only way she can attack is with Ruin, and she'll automatically equip that, and having her equip that is pretty bad. Equip Nosferatu and have her stay there to tank, and then send Stahl down here and equip that Brave Lance I just gave him. Hopefully that should take out a few of these paladins. Again, enormous numbers of mounted units, but this time they're not impeded by these woods, so you want to take out as many of them as you can during the enemy phases, otherwise you will run into trouble later. So I'm going to send Yarn up here to take on the enemies around this side, mainly because there are less magic users there. Gonna send Donnie up here. I don't think I need the Brave Sword just yet, so I'm going to leave him for the moment. And as for my other characters, I'm going to put Crom here for 3 spaces. Yep. So he's going to give the charm bonus to these characters. Ironic that he's giving the charm bonus to Flavia, but after that support conversation, but anyway. And Gangrel is going to go and take some items out of the convoy. I really should have done this on the preparation screen, but oh well. I gave him a silver sword because, well, mostly because I want to see him activating his critical quotes. But anyway, drop the Men's Staff, take a Physic, and I'm also going to take a Ward Staff, because Ward is actually quite useful in this chapter, because there are a lot of powerful enemy magic users. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that to Flavia.
Now we're talking.
She's the one most likely to get attacked by magic users this turn, so I'm going to use that on her. Hey, come on, Gangrel, you're reformed. Having him use more supporting staves just to hammer that in. So, first up is this idiot who can't hit us at all for some stupid reason. The short axe has kind of low power. I wish that Flavia had some kind of Lunar skill to boost the power of that, but...
I could crush you.
But she actually does have access to that, just not at the moment. And it's kind of going to be a recurring theme to see enemies reduced to very low HP, but not actually killed. Now, my last attempt at this... Oh, that's bad! Okay, please activate Vengeance. No. In my last attempt of this, Tharia was very, very weird about not activating Vengeance. And I should have probably equipped a better lance on Kellum there. Now, if the RNG is the same as when I last did this, this attack is going to hit. Okay, I'm on the exact same RNG cycle, it seems, because I'm making my moves the exact same way as I did before. I had to re-record this chapter, not because I failed, but because my capture card, well, not my capture card, because my portable hard drive ran out of memory space. And so I got to a point and it just stopped recording, and I had a huge section of the game that I didn't even record, a huge section of this chapter, so... Felt better just restart the chapter. It's pretty much fine. This is not a very long chapter anyway, mostly because all the enemies kind of rush at you from the start. That is unlucky, but thankfully, Soul alleviates that a bit. And yes, I knew she was going to activate Soul from the last attempt I had of this. And chop down. You know what? One more enemy might give Basilio and Flavia a double level up, which would be awesome. What isn't awesome is the fact that Tharia is not activating Vengeance a lot here. And getting hit a lot. And missing a lot.
I gotcha.
And roll attack.
My turn.
And chop down again. And double level up. And that was really, really good. Why can't I ship these two? Getting speed's always decent for Basilio. And I would normally be very panicked about this, but I know this enemy will miss.
Let's make a scene.
Yes, let's. And that soul was really helpful too. Basilio sometimes misses against these Valkyries because they have quite high evasion, but he didn't there. Basilio and Flavia are pretty powerful from this point in the game. With the bonuses they get on hard lunatic mode, they're generally better than their unpromoted counterparts usually. And Aggies. That's an annoying thing about these paladins sometimes. They are quite resilient against magic if they activate that skill.
You alright?
And using the Brave Axe on Stahl is useful because it means that it gives Sully 2 chances to dual strike. And helps him double. Of course, what would help him double more is getting his speed up from going into Paladin, but I just realized something kind of funny though. Once I max out their levels in these classes, I could pretty easily just have Stahl and Sully switch over to their opposite, like, partners classes.
Ready?
Stop blocking the shot, trees! Wow, it's like the trees are censoring the action here. You don't need to censor this violence, it's only against zombies, so it's okay. Unless you're in Germany.
I'm right here.
Again, tree censorship! What are you doing, trees? And enemies moving that can't attack. So, I want to try and pick off as many of these guys as possible this turn. Because, yeah, otherwise there could be some problems. Okay, let's see. Okay, firstly, I'm going to go and equip the Brave Lance on Kellum. Beast Killer only has 1 use, so I'm not really sure I want to use that here. And let's try for a Vengeance. I also have to use Nosferatu here, otherwise Tharia's probably going to die on the enemy. Wow! But at least Kellum pulled through.
Satisfied?
Yeah, Tharia's bad skill really starts to show here when the enemies have pretty good evasive stats. Now, Stahl and Sully, I like having them take out one of these enemies because the Bow Knights aren't exactly as big a threat as... oh yeah, another reason why I didn't bring Virion here, even though I wanted to initially, Bowbreaker. Virion really, really hates that skill. He actually has the skill himself now, but it's still really annoying to go up against. You know what? I'll go for Finn's Lance for the extra defense bonus. 20% crit rate is decent, though. And I did not get, yep. He didn't go down. Might have to pick up the slack with Crom a little bit. Because these Great Knights, I'm not too concerned about them. They're gonna die anyway to Tharia, because for some reason they love attacking her, despite the fact that she just loves destroying them. I'm gonna finish this guy with Tiki to save on movement of other characters.
I'm sorry.
And to make sure that she doesn't have to go out of the woods. Also, Tiki is now a Bloom Dragon. The thing about Bloom Lighting is, a lot of people don't realize, it was originally meant to make environments look fantastical and the exact opposite of realistic. But for some reason, some people decided, oh hey, let's put Bloom Lighting in every game because it looks so realistic. Thankfully, developers are a bit better about that now. But I still like to make fun of Bloom Lighting occasionally, like with Tiki or with Crom and Mary Sue's Bloom Armor. And epic level up time. No strength is a little annoying though. And Donnie is still not maxed. It's actually going to be a while before he gets maxed. Yeah, as high as those stats are, probably higher than I expect from a level 20 promoted character at this point. As high as they are, I honestly think, okay, now I need to do something here. You were in a different position last time, but I want to take out this Valkyrie now. Also, Pan, you are not equipping a Beastone Plus. Okay, I'm glad I checked that. Beastone Plus does have slightly less accuracy though, which is annoying because Pan does miss these Valkyries occasionally because of their good evasion. But Yarn's not going to miss. Well, actually, lethality can miss, but 100% accuracy, didn't have to worry about it anyway. And yeah, I think Walhart's troops already know not to mess with the bunny. Oh, he didn't max his strength this time. He's only 1 point off max anyway, he'll get it eventually. Now, I could actually keep Basilio and Flavia here, though if I... Actually, there's not much risk of, let's see. You know what? I could switch over to Basilio and use a bow. There's not anyone who's going to take advantage of his inability to counterattack at close range. But I would like to see them try because Basilio has counter now. He got that off screen in grinding sessions. And counter can be a somewhat useful skill, but be warned that, you know what? I kind of want to get rid of the Luna guy, and I can't. Okay. Well, I'll just settle for getting rid of you instead. I want to get Crom as much of the kills as I can, because Crom needs to be as strong as he can possibly be. Because he has to do an important fight in this chapter. Yeah, word of warning, before you take on this chapter, you want to make sure that Crom is very, very adequately leveled. Because otherwise you're going to have problems. Crom has to fight the boss in this chapter if you want to get the maximum reward out of it. Now, you know what? I don't exactly trust Tharia at the moment, so I'm going to heal her. But I think with Crom, I'll explain that when we get there. Yeah, we're going to did that because this guy could Luna again, and he didn't, thankfully. There's Vengeance! See, I like seeing Vengeance with Nosferatu because it means more health recovered.
You deserved worse.
Okay, please get defense. Thank you. Her defense has been lagging behind a little bit lately. Her magic and speed are quite good, but yeah, defense not so much. Thankfully, I don't think Yarn will die to both of these enemies, so this should be fine. Might need to heal him soon, though. Good dodge there.
My turn.
And nice hit there, Pan. All of the enemies being, in fact, I think every single enemy here is weak to Beastbane, so, oh, except Walhart himself, because he has the whole, Conqueror thing, which prevents that from working.
I'll keep it alive.
But other than that, every enemy here is weak to Beastbane, so that can be a very useful skill to have here. Definitely want to bring your Targwell characters in this chapter. Sadly, as you can see here, Yarn is not getting the benefit of Beastbane because he's not in the Targwell class. Yeah, that skill only works if you're a Targwell. Just like Wormsbane only works if you're a Manakete. Om nom 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 nom. And you are definitely dead.
Killing is my job.
Could be a waste of a Brave Lance, but I just want as many of these enemies gone as I can, because we're about to deal with a whole lot more. Yep, there are reinforcements in this chapter, and if I remember right, they're going to appear next turn.
Do you like
Okay, Vengeance Nosferatu on a full health enemy. He is excellent.
I'm over here.
And again, this guy's dead, and I think Kellen levels up out of that too.
satisfied?
And he does. Okay, that was really good. 40 strength, almost 40 defense. He's looking really, really amazing. And yes, more enemies charging at us. See, I told you, this chapter's pretty short because the enemies all like to rush at you at once. Now, including the boss, but I'm not sure if he's going to move just yet. Rally resistance, really? Anyway, Walhart's not moving yet, but he will be very, very soon. And speaking of very, very soon, we're going to have to deal with reinforcements very, very soon. Let's see, you have Luna. You have... Yeah, Indoor Fighter's going to really help you here. I like how these woods here are all dead, while the other ones down here are still alive. Has this kind of whole aura of corruption seeping from... Maybe seeping from a certain someone. Again, I've got a theory that I want to talk about. You know what, Nar is ridiculously overpowered at this point, but I don't really care. Also, I'm going to equip Brave Sword because Jill Strikes. Though I don't know if Arms Rift can actually activate on Jill Strikes. I mean, most skills can, but there are some that can't. And pointless anyway, because Donnie didn't even Jill Strike in the first place. Okay, now what I want to do here is run to the next set of woods, but... Okay, that's a problem, because yeah, see these graves here? They're not for show, and we'll be finding that out soon. Flavia not being in a woods kind of worries me a little. Thankfully, Tiki can go to them here. Let's see what Cyria has equipped. Oh, just a Silver Sword, that's fine. Don't want her to waste a Matsu after all. I once actually tried to have her use a Matsu on this chapter, and
yours.
I kind of want to use the hammer and staff before I do that.
My turn.
Thank you, Sairi. Brave Sword would have done better, but oh well. Now, I'm wondering if I even should put Crom there, because there are going to be a lot more of these Dark Knights incoming. And yeah, if Crom goes there, things could get a little problematic. As much as Flavia is kind of getting a little over-leveled here, she has the better defense, so I think I'll stick with her here. Except I've got to make sure Basilio doesn't equip a bow. Because otherwise he's not going to double on his dual strikes. Yeah, these magic enemies, Flavia does not like them. Might need to use the ward staff again, actually.
That was quick.
Yes, yes it was. And you are only 6 experience off maxing your level entirely. Aha! Kellum and Tharia can go on to woods. All of these enemies are now officially dead. Though I am, see, these guys double Kellum. I am very worried about the magic using enemies, so... I really want Kellum to get the spotlight here, but unfortunately I might not be able to.
Hey, over here.
And goodbye, Paladin. And hello, max level Tharia. Pretty typical level up. Her stats are kind of decent for a max level, though I'm not sure what I want to reclass her to, because if I go to anything other than Sorceress, she's going to not be able to use Dark Magic anymore, and that's kind of her whole thing, so I don't really like the idea of that. I'm going to send Starl and Sully down a little bit, because... And I'm going to have... Gonna not put Starl in the lead, because he doesn't like these magic users. They double him, and he takes an enormous amount of damage from them. And there are going to be reinforcements soon, so I think I should send Yarn there. Okay. Problem is, Crom is not equipped with a 1 to 2 range weapon at this point. Probably should have given him a Javelin, but oh well. Actually, Crom can just pull a Javelin out of the convoy. What am I thinking? Though again, I don't want him to be too far ahead, although the charm boost could be useful. But yeah, these graves here, I am somewhat worried about him, so... Gonna have him go over here, and then again, convoy. Do I have any javelins in stock? You know, I think I actually gave my only javelin to... Yeah, I think Frederick has the javelin, actually. That's really annoying. Do I have any shock sticks? I don't think I do, actually. So, that's actually annoying. Forget that I could do that. Admittedly, Crom does need to be a little further into the map for something that he has to do later. See, that damage on those magic enemies, I don't like that at all. How's Lucina's resistance, though? It's not that much better. And weirdly enough, with the pair-up bonuses, Lucina's actually, her evasion's a little bit higher than Crom's. It's still kinda low. What to do here? See, if I try and take that one out, then there's going to be a Valkyrie. Well, I guess I just have to put our faith in all of us surviving, basically. Now, does anyone need ward? Anybody need that? Got to be really careful of Gangrel here, because there are going to be reinforcements soon. And I'm actually going to ward Crom. I hope that Yarn is going to survive these enemies, though. Oh, wait, no reinforcements yet. Okay, I must have been mistaken. And oh, crap! Oh, no. I should have warded Yarn or physics staffed him. That's bad. Thankfully, dual guard. Okay, that could have ended badly. Normally, I don't actually have close calls like that in this chapter, so that was annoying. And once again, the stupid Great Knights like to attack Tharia, despite the fact that, they are her favorite prey at this point. Unfortunately, everyone that she kills is going to be a waste of experience, but at least Kellen gets to, get some slight experience out of them. Very slight experience. Want to get rid of those Dark Knights quickly, though, because they really hurt. Ouch! That would have hurt.
Step aside.
You know what? Oh, that's interesting. She does a cut-in twice for that. Interesting. Didn't actually know that usually happened. And Flavia is now maxed, so any experience that she gains is wasted. Some of these enemies have both swords and bows, so they can attack you from any range they want. And Basilio Chop.
Very nice.
And Flavia is now at an A in both axes and in swords. That's a pretty cool thing about pre-promotes in the series, is they usually start out with decent weapon ranks, so that often helps them overcome the disadvantaged levels they have over unpromoted characters. Though in this case, Basilio and Flavia still start out with better base stats than most unpromoted characters do, so bit of a moot point there.
Good luck.
So we have another wave of enemies here, and I think after this one, then the reinforcements come, and then things get really, really dangerous. Let's just say a certain someone is going to join the party. Yep, here he comes! He's moving! He is moving! He is moving. That's all I really have to say here. We need to be really, really careful, because Walhart stands a very good chance of doubling a lot of characters. Like, look at this. His speed's 1 point higher than Flavia's, and she's a relatively speedy hero, so yeah, Walhart is pretty tough. Not only that, but it's about now that you want to be wary of the graves on this map, because bad things are about to happen. Now, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab that short axe off of Flavia, because I'd rather have that equipped than a bow. And I'm going to go and attack with said short axe. Worse accuracy than a bow, but I can still attack at 1 range. Flavia, are you using your hammer? Actually, that's pretty useful against the enemy Great Knights, though. And, well, Basilio's falling behind Flavia. Makes sense since she's now the Khan and not him. But don't count him out of the action just yet, like he was saying. Now, Donnie is so strong that he doesn't even need cover. He can just stand all the way out in the open, and he doesn't need to worry about these superpowered Risen, unless he gets really unlucky with the Valkyries hitting him. Even then, he has Soul. And 2, no more Valkyrie.
I've done it.
But there are going to be more Valkyries incoming. Reinforcements are going to arrive soon, and they are very scary reinforcements. Well, actually, they're only... Okay, I'm not going to attack the Aegis guy, because Aegis works on Dragonstones. Just as Pavis works on Beast Stones. But yeah, the most scary thing about the reinforcements here is actually the fact that Walhart is going to be attacking you with them. So yeah, you can deal with a ton of reinforcements rushing you, but can you deal with Walhart rushing you at the same time? Yeah, Syri, you're going to need that surge of strength really soon, trust me. And again, remember Walhart has 1 to 2 range, so yeah, you really want to be careful of him. Still going to go ahead and use Nosferatu. You know, I was about to say, although yeah, Tharia doesn't get doubled by the enemy magic user, so I'm going to go for her here.
I'm right beside you. Don't forget me.
And nice dual guard there.
Your own.
She probably still would have restored all of the damage that she took anyway, but still.
You deserved worse.
And her stupid forest. Okay, there are going to be reinforcements, and I don't trust that. Okay, I need to heal Yarn now. Please tell me I'm in range. Yes, I obviously am. Okay. Now, hopefully I just lethality you, because that would make things so much easier.
Stay vigilant.
Or Astra. Come on, lethality or... Ah, there we go, Astra. Or in this case, he has a sharp, pointy sword. And no dual strike, but thankfully he missed. And double Astra. Jan is angry. I actually really needed that. Thanks, Jan. Now I trust you to handle the reinforcements. And now his strength is maxed. But his skill and speed aren't, because of Gaius being his father, giving a massive bonus to the skill and speed caps, so... Not as massive as Lonku's, but still. Gaius has, yeah, pretty good skill and speed caps. Okay. Now, do I want to... I think I still want to keep Sully here. Crom actually needs to be on hand to fight Walhart when he can, but I don't want Crom to get hit by too many of those enemy magic users, especially since Gangrel is not going to be able to ward staff him. I just have to trust that Crom will be fine here.
Together.
Anything can change.
On the hierarchy of skill calculations, Luna is rolled for after Ether. Basically, skills with lower lower activation rates are calculated before higher activation rate skills. So it starts off with lethality, because obviously, if lethality activates, the enemy is dead anyway. Also, yes, Risen are rising from the graves! And as you can see, their number includes Valkyries. Such as that Valkyrie right there, who is the reason why I didn't actually have Stahl in the lead on the Stully pair, because otherwise Stahl would die horribly, because he hates Valkyries. And useful hammer, but still not quite enough to finish you off. And that is why I equipped the short axe. Let's actually hope Basilio can handle all the enemies here. I want to clear out these enemies as much as I can, because once Walhart comes, it's in your best interest to take him out fast, and I mean really, really fast. You want Walhart gone in one turn if at all possible, because otherwise he is a major threat. And of course, you're going for the close range. Wow, no counter, okay.
Allow me.
And yeah, that makes sense of missing.
Here I come.
Wow, double miss, Flavia. Nice one. And not as many enemies took this bait as I thought they would. And kill him, thank you. Yeah, that there is why I didn't have Stahl in the lead, because this Valkyrie would double him. And yep, Walhart is on the move. As are the Valkyries and the Dark Knights. So, it's about now that I want to do this. Yeah, Crom doesn't even double Walhart. Well, admittedly, it's my fault that he's in the Great Knight class. You know, Brave Sword doesn't do that much less than Exalted Falchion. I'll probably go for that. My plan here is, yeah, I want to take out Walhart quickly. I don't think I'll be able to get Basilio there for the rematch, unfortunately. But basically, in this chapter, you want to do this. Make sure you have Crom fight Walhart at least once. And yep, this music is back. Gangrel didn't get it, but Walhart round 3 does. Also, this boss conversation is unique. It's the only one in the game that actually uses full portraits. It's also unique for another reason. You must see this boss conversation in order to unlock the full reward of this chapter, so make sure you have Crom attack Walhart during the chapter. Trust me, you want to do this. Otherwise, there is no point in doing this paralogue.
No.
Now, this line I find very interesting. Gangrel said before that he considers himself dead, but his body refuses to accept it. Walhart, though, he outright admits to not being alive and says that his heart beats no more. This leads me to believe, and this is not entirely 100% confirmed, maybe just slightly implied, it's just my personal theory. My theory here is that the Walhart you see here is a Risen. Walhart did die when you fought him back in Chapter 20. He came back as a Risen here. Don't you find it a little suspicious that all of these Risen are suddenly pledging loyalty to Walhart out of nowhere? Risen don't seem to be loyal to anyone but Grima and members of the Grimleal, unless they were following the orders of another Risen. So, my personal theory is, Walhart is actually a Risen, he just doesn't realize it.
What?
Exactly, we have no reason left to fight.
Raven.
Well, of course, fighting is everything to Walhart, so of course we have a reason.
Listen to me.
Yeah, Walhart can't conquer the world if it's been destroyed, and Walhart was planning on defeating Grima, so really, we're on the same side now. Of course, Walhart's all like, I'm the one who should rule the world. But Walhart's enemy is definitely Grima, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Stand up and fight!
But if we want to get Walhart on our side, we're going to have to fight him, obviously. Fighting is the only thing he really understands. This line doesn't quite mean what you think it means. Anyway, I'll explain that later.
It's all right.
Okay, here we go.
Now I'm angry.
Ether is really useful here due to Walhart's enormous defense and very good speed.
Take this.
I will not fail.
And there he goes. Brave weapons make this kind of trivial, but Walhart statistically is actually stronger than the final boss, so he can be very tough, especially since he moves. So brave weapons are really useful here, as are skills like Ether, and for beating him we get both an energy drop and a Draco shield. But we won't realise our real reward until a little bit later. Now, something to note here. Crom does not have to be the one to deal the final blow. As long as Crom fights Walhart at least once, you're going to get the reward from this chapter. So you just have to activate that boss conversation between Crom and Walhart. Once you see that, then it's fine. You can have anyone else in your army defeat him. In fact, in my practice attempt of this, I actually had Donald be the one to take down Walhart, which I thought was pretty awesome. But in this one, Crom had to hog all the glory. And sadly, I didn't get my Basilio versus Walhart rematch. Walhart doesn't actually have any special dialogue with Basilio, so the only person he has unique dialogue with is Crom, unfortunately. That's a little annoying. And I do not like those magic enemies, so one of them is going to die now. The Valkyrie has more chance of hitting, but the I keep calling them Mage Knights. The Dark Knight is stronger. I'm going to go for the Dark Knight.
I'm with you.
Sadly, I have no critical rate against this guy.
How about this?
But I do have a soul rate. Okay, one less Dark Knight. That makes me a little bit
It's over.
more relieved. And prepare for ridiculous level up time number 2. Yeah, Nara is kind of insane with aptitude. She still hasn't maxed anything, though. The question here is, as much as I want to use Walhart here, no, jumping the gun there. As much as I want to use Basilio here, I kind of want... I want to make sure that he doesn't die, basically. Because now that Walhart is down, the worst of this chapter is over. Though, there's still one more wave of reinforcements to go. There may actually be more reinforcements, but I usually end the chapter before, Generally, in most of my runs, this chapter doesn't have much longer to go. Now, you're both axe users, so I don't need to worry about you hitting, Yarn too much. I am worried about you, though. Actually, if Yarn goes there, he'll get hit by quite a lot of enemies. That, and there are going to be reinforcements spawning from there, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He should be safe. Now, here I would definitely appreciate, some kind of a skill activation. And I might have to heal Yarn. Oh, and no, I won't have to heal
I'm
Yarn.
gonna end you.
And, well, he did. Yarn ends
I
everyone.
won?
Kind of funny, people are saying that Yarn's hair, when he's a Swordmaster, makes him look like Ryorma from Fates. That makes a lot of sense, actually. The games do have the same character designer, but yeah, that spiky hair does look a little bit like Ryorma. Now, this is a perfect use of my Beast Killer, except I need a Dual Strike to kill, and thus... Yeah, this is why Stahl does not like the Valkyries, and in fact, there are going to be more enemies spawning from down there, so... You... Okay, I'll be safe from you. I'd rather, actually, have Sully take the Brave Lance. Because at least she has somewhat better resistance. And doesn't get doubled by these guys. But, yeah, Stahl took him down with the Beast Killer anyway. And Stahl was the one who got the level up. Even though he goes on about people showing him up all the time. Oh, that's annoying. I'm at least glad that Kellum has better defensive stats than Stahl, because it's always annoying when a Great Knight has, I still don't want Kellum to do stuff here. It's always annoying when a Great Knight ends up with better strength and defense than a General, because then the Generals are kind of useless, because the Great Knight is basically just them, but with more movement. And who needs a heal from Gangrel? Honestly, I'd rather go for the Ward Staff here. Which I am going to do. Hey Yarn, would you like some Ward Staff? And for some reason there was a frame drop there. And hello reinforcements, including a Valkyrie. That's why I was worried about having Stahl on the lead. Thankfully, these should be the last... Okay, you're about to realize something very, very annoying. Yep, enemies that die to counter do not award experience points. I discovered that the hard way while I was grinding, and well, please, dual guard. Okay, yes, that's good. I discovered that the hard way while I was grinding, and it made me very, very angry. So yeah, I'd never known that before because I'd never seen someone die to counter who wasn't on my side. I mean, I've seen people die to counter, my people die to enemy counters all the time, but I've never seen anyone die to one of my counters before. And yeah, turns out that enemies killed by counter do not give experience. Really, really annoying that, especially when I was in the middle of a grinding session. I think in one enemy phase, Basilio killed like 3 enemies to counter, and all of them just wasted their experience drops, so... very annoying. Kellum, I would like you to dual strike now. Okay, Basilio, please survive. Okay, you will, thank you.
You were confused.
And nice one there, Flavia, hitting with the hammer against the sword user. And yeah, Basilio's maxed anyway, so killing enemies with a counter doesn't really mean anything here. Okay, now at this point, the map is basically over. There might be more waves of reinforcements here, I just don't know, because I have never had the map last any longer than this. Okay. Now, yeah, I want to get rid of you with Donnie so that Basilio and Flavia are free to go up on taking out those newly arrived reinforcements. This music is still amazing. And useless souls are not amazing, but at least we get to hear critical quotes. Thank you there! Was worried that you weren't going to dual strike at all. And get another amazing level up. And he still hasn't maxed anything. Basilio and Flavia are both level 20, but... kind of want to have Yarn go here and then just try and heal him with Gangrel. Hope Gangrel will be able to get into healing range, though, without... Yeah. The characters down here might actually need some backup. Hey, Crom, can you get there? Yeah, I'll actually get Kellum some... You know what? Let's just use up the last use of the Beast Killer. kind of hard to buy beast killers, though. You need to rely on merchants. Kellum's not quite level 20 yet. Okay, now can I get some help from Crom? No, I can't. Okay. Well, that's a little bit annoying, but we'll deal with that. Hello there, Valkyrie. Please die. I don't like you. I think these Valkyries are the most threatening enemies on the map. And Style got him. Good one.
Sorry.
And Sully levels up. Pretty decent. At least her speed's getting a bit higher. And 2 Beast Killers broken in 1 turn. We're setting a new record here. You know what? Is it safe for Cyree herself to actually switch over? You both have physical weapons and one of them is an axe, so... You know what? I'm actually going to go for this. Of course, this event tile might not be too useful. Interesting. Getting experience from studying politics? Yeah, I wouldn't know if that does anything, because I personally hate politics and hate studying it. Okay, then. You know what? Lucina hasn't actually really done much this chapter, apart from Jewel Struck.
I challenge my fate.
But now she gets to Ether. So, die. Again, the most annoying enemies in this chapter. 36 speed is seriously insane for this point. Kinda wish that Yarn had Soul for this, but, oh well. Actually, Gaius has access to the Fighter class branch, so I think Yarn can get Soul with this pairing. Okay, good dodge there. Yes, I may or may not have Yarn favoritism. Why do you ask? I might need to heal here, though. Gangrel hasn't actually fought anyone this chapter. Might be able to next turn. And he's max, so he doesn't need to. Someone suggested reclassing him to Dark Knight, which might not be a bad idea. He'd be able to use his decent magic stat for attacking, though he would have to start out as an E in Tomes. That was the one thing that kind of ended up bad for me when I reclassed Noe to Dark Knight my first playthrough. Starting out with an E rank in Tomes really worked against her. Oh, really? And, well, Sully finishes it.
Damn nuisance.
Yeah, it was a damn nuisance. Multiple Paladin Jewel Strikes like that always look hilarious, though. The Dance of the Jewel Strikes, as I like to call it. I had a feeling that would hit. But he's gonna go extinct. Hopefully the Risen will be extinct soon.
Is it over?
And, well, you had a death wish, clearly. Unless you didn't even have a bow. Still, I think this actually ends the chapter. So yeah, kind of a short one. This is only turn 6, I believe. Short, but pretty intense. Wow. Oh wait, I believe this ends the chapter. Hopefully. Well, that's gonna end the chapter. Double Astro Crit, nice one.
Victory.
Now, Cyree's gonna need all the experience she can get because Kellum and Thari are predictable, because I'm gonna need her for a later chapter. But anyway, that's Irreconcilable Paths done. And since we had Crom fight Walhart, we get this conversation.
Very well.
Brave weapons. They're broken.
No.
Yeah, Walhart has no pair-up bonuses, that's why you lost. I admit I do like the fact that this game's really good at integrating the whole power of friendship things into the gameplay by making you so powerful with the pair-up system. They went a little bit too far and it got a bit broken, though.
What?
Well,
And with that, though it isn't actually obvious at first, we have recruited Walhart. Yeah! Never expected him to be recruitable, did you? But yes, we now have him. So if you want to find out more about him, click on the annotation. Also, you get this conversation regardless of whether or not you recruited Walhart. So, to recruit him, you have to have Crom fight him at least once. Again, that's all that's important. Crom doesn't actually need to beat him. You can deal the final blow with someone else, and I have tested that in practice, and you will still get him.
Yes. No.
Maybe questions and worries are actually a good thing to have.
Ah.
shall we then?
And let's go onwards. We have 2 powerful allies now, but we're only just getting started with these paralogues. So, next time, we will be taking on another paralogue, and, well, it's going to be quite an emotional one. I'll see you then.